quorum having been established, we will begin our business today. It is a pleasure to introduce a person who, of course, to this group and to the public who is present with us today, does not need an introduction, but that should not stop us from providing an introduction. John Chiang has been a public servant in the state of California for a long time, formerly the state controller and currently the state treasurer of the state of California. On a personal note, someone who was kind enough, with all of his busy schedule as state controller, to come lecture in my government class at San Jose State University, which turned out to be clearly the highlight of the semester for the students and for me. John is not only a fine public servant, but a good person, and we thank the treasurer for taking on this task of taking a deep dive into bond accountability and establishing this task force. Mr. Treasurer, good morning, sir.
Thank you, Chair Keeley. Thank you for your distinguished public service. Thank you for your friendship. I want to begin with my most important point. I wanted to thank each and every single one of you with great sincerity and deep gratitude for your service and your willingness to take on this terrific responsibility. Your expertise is unchallenged, it's unparalleled, and I know that you will provide an first-rate service and an outstanding work product. We all well know that municipalities throughout California extensively used the use of bond proceeds over the last 10 years. The municipalities have, in regards to bond issuance, exceeded over $720 billion. They go to fund essential services and programs such as public works, education, housing, healthcare, and interim financing. Now, each municipality, each region, each program has its own needs and wants. They have unique approaches to the market. However, there is a greater need that is required. We owe the taxpayers and residents of the state of California a comprehensive system complete with adequate checks and balances to ensure that public bond dollars go to their intended public purpose. We're all familiar with past instances of abuse, most recently ABAG. We've seen it with the lack of better use in the city of Bell. This should be our time for a wake-up call to remember past instances and proceed with better procedures. In an effort to protect public agencies and the constituents from misuse of these bond proceeds, I have convened this task force, which I state I'm very excited to have all of you participate in, and ask you to take on the following charge. Number one, to identify the range of practices employed by public agencies and other fiduciaries that receive and disperse bond proceeds. Number two, to evaluate these practices to identify increased protections against mismanagement or misuse of those proceeds. Number three, to establish best practices guidelines for public agencies that provide controls and oversight of the use of these bond proceeds. Number four, to create administrative practices that can be woven into the way governments do business, specifically to consider embedding best practice standards in controlling documents, audit programs, and definitions of roles and responsibilities of both administrative and elected officials. Number five, to promote the adoption of best practice guidelines through publications, training, or other means. Number six, consider legal, administrative, and organizational strategies to increase transparency and oversight of the use of bond proceeds by public agencies. I am confident that this group of experts, which is heavy on both talent and reputation, will be able to create productive steps in meeting each of these objectives. As many of you know, that the Senate President Pro Tem, Kevin De Leon, is also very interested in this subject. He is tracking it closely. In fact, they may have their own hearing on this matter. Mr. De Leon and I both eagerly await your feedback and proposals because I know they're going to be stellar. In the meantime, please understand and know that my office is willing to assist you in any way that we can do so. So thank you very kindly.
Mr. Treasurer, thank you for those opening remarks. I will say this about the very last sentence you uttered, and that is about your office and its willingness to be helpful. They have been enormously helpful getting to this moment right now. Mr. Campbell and the other staff have been forthcoming, very helpful preparing reports and other activities. So thank you and thank your staff so very much. I see you, sir.